Hello, how is everyone? So in this short course, we're gonna see about how we can find the activities and the durations and so on for something that is called precedence diagram method, which is also the shortcut for this PDM. If you have seen our ADM, PDM is basically whatever we have just discussed. However, we're gonna have an extra details. Okay, so the whole idea of having PDM or President's Diagram Method is very important or very effective tool for project managers. And in here, we're going to see how we can see all of these things. Okay, so the whole idea of this one is to have some nodes and dependencies and arrows, which would easily allow us to have visual, an easy visualization between the sequences and their relationships. And also PDM helps in defining critical paths and managing project timelines effectively. Again, what is a critical path? It is basically the longest path you could have with the shortest period of time in your project. Okay, so the whole idea again, the benefit for this is to have a visualization for you and for your team so you can know or you can tell how you can make your project faster and how you can optimize the project workflows. Okay, so in here, before we get started, we need to understand how exactly PDM looks like. So we have seen how ADM is. In PDM, we would be having something similar in terms of early start and early finish. Okay, early finish. Here we normally write the activity. Here we do write any description. And if we do have any code, we're going to see how we are going to do it. And on the left side, again, we're going to write as if I had started it very late and what I would be getting if I finished it late, which is late start and late finish. At the bottom left, we're going to write the duration. So it's different than how it was in ADM. In here, in this box, we're going to write um, the start float. So start float, it is basically we are taking these two numbers in here. Okay, so this start float is basically your late start minus your early start. We are going to have a number and we will be able to see what is our start float, meaning if we made some changes, what number it is going to give us. Okay, on the other hand, we're going to have finish float. Okay, finish float, which is basically, on the other hand, we are going to take, these two numbers in here. If I finished it late and minus if I finished it early. We're gonna get a number, and that number is considered as your finish float. Then we have another number in here, which we called as the total float. What exactly is the total float? Okay, so total float, it is basically we are going to take our late finish. Okay, so this one is basically your late finish minus your early starts minus the duration. If you ever get confused what are these numbers, you can draw as this way. Okay, this early and late finish minus early start minus the duration. So this is how we draw our PDM. Oh, that is clear. So when we're drawing our PDM, we normally, like us, we whatever comes from this side is considered as your start, and whatever comes at the very end is considered your finish. Okay, so whatever you have in the start would be on this side, and whatever we're having a finish is on the other side. Let's see an exercise together so we can understand it even further. So imagine we have these numbers in here, which basically we are going to have some activities. We could also have some description, references, duration for every activity. If we do have any related activities, which is basically our predecessor, which we've called it in ADM, and the relationship on the other hand. Okay. In ADM, we normally did not have a relationship, which is basically we finish one activity and we come to the other one. In PDM, it is different, which we basically would be having a relationship, which we could have it as FS, which is basically I finish one, I start the other, or I start one, I start the other, which we basically have them as, we're going to see a lot of examples. I'm going to write them in here. So it's either finish start. So I finish one, which is basically I could have two tasks in here. So finish start is basically I finish one, I start the other. Then we have finish finish. So finish finish on the other hand is basically you're going to have two activities and you are supposed to finish this one and finish this one at the same time. Okay, then we have start finish. So what a start finish is, you're going to have two activities. You are going to start one from here and you're going to finish the second one. Okay, so normally the first letter is for the first activity and the second letter is for the second activity. So in here, our activity would look something like this. Finally, the last relation we do have is start start. So what is start start? It is basically you're going to have two activities and both of them are supposed to start at the same time. Okay, and then we normally have some numbers, which is basically which is just like as you guys can see in here, which is could be +1, +2. So what exactly that means is that you could add here like +2 or so on. So when you, let's say you start this one in day number 0, this one you can only start it in day number 2. We're going to see an example and we're going to see how exactly that is. So this is basically some relations that we have in PDM. So let's do this exercise together. Okay, so starting with the first activity, I'm going to use the color red for this. Okay, so whenever we're starting an activity as how we did it in ADM, excuse me. Okay, so whenever we are drawing it in PDM, it looks at the same idea, but let's see how it is different. So we start 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, another line. And we normally draw it this way. Hope I didn't make any mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to draw it this way, and align it here. So I'll be doing this for every activity. So let's start with activity. So the first thing we have is, as how we did it in ADM, is we need to have a start activity. Okay, so from start activity, we have two activities with no relation. What does that mean again? Meaning we're going from start directly to these two activities, which is in here A and B. Okay. All right. It's going to take me forever to just draw it. Let's see. Let me just make it prettier. Okay, so I have A in here, and I'll draw B at the very bottom. Okay, so my B is in here. So as you guys can see, both of them are not having any relation, meaning they are both going to go from start to these two activities. Let's see what is the duration for A. The duration for A is 3 days. The duration for B is 4 days. Okay. You can either draw the whole thing and then start plugging in the numbers, or you can plug in the numbers as you move on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug in the numbers as I go on. Okay, and the second exercise, I'm gonna do the opposite so you guys can see the differences between them. Anyways, so as we know, the earliest I can start, so the earliest start is 0, 0. So earliest I can start A is in day number 0. If the duration is 3 days, meaning the earliest I can finish in day number 3. What about B? The earliest I can start is 0 because it's coming from start. The earliest I can finish this one because it's going to take me 4 days, meaning earliest I can finish is in day number 4. Let's do C. C, the predecessor is A, meaning it would be good if I can draw my C somewhere in here. Okay. And here. So C. So besides C, the predecessor is A. Then let's see what is the relationship in here. Before we do that, C, it is having duration 2. So what does that Fs plus 1 mean? Meaning I'm supposed to finish A and then I can start C. However, it is considered as Fs plus 1. Whereas Fs plus 1 meaning you can only start this in day number 4. How did I get this number? I have day number 3. I'm supposed to finish it at the earliest I can finish A is day number 3. And if I can only start C after A, and it is showing me here plus 1, meaning I'm supposed to finish A, wait a day, and then start C. Hope that is clear. Okay, then I'm gonna do it normally, which is earliest finish is 4 plus 2, that is a 6. Okay, let's do D. D, we have the related activities is B, meaning I can do something in here, which is my D. Okay, so my D in here, it is having duration 2, and the relationship is B, and related activity, sorry, B, and the relationship is finish start. What does finish start mean? You are supposed to finish A, B, and come start D. Meaning whenever you're supposed to finish B, which is in day number 4, that is when you can only start your D. So that is finish start. Okay, meaning if you can finish B, sorry, the earliest you can finish is 4. That is when the earliest start you can start D, activity D. Then you're gonna have the earliest finish is 4 plus 2, that is a 6. Hope you guys are understanding it and you're not having any issues. Okay, let's do E. E, the related activity is B, meaning I can have it somewhere in here. Okay, so let's have it somewhere in here. So this is my E. So we said E is having duration as 4. and the related activities is B, and the relationship is FS, meaning I'm supposed to finish A and I can start E. That is FS. Finish one, start the other. Okay? If my A is duration number 4 and I can only start this one, so if my earliest finish of B is 4 days, meaning the earliest I can start would be in day number 4. If this task is going to take me 4 days, meaning I can only finish it in day number 8. Let's do F. F, it's having a relation with E, so I'm going to draw F somewhere in here. Okay. So my F would be somewhere in here. And the duration for F is 6 days. And the relation is start plus 2, meaning you're supposed to start E and you're supposed to start F at the same time. However, you're supposed to start this one, start the other plus 2 days. Okay, meaning if I am supposed to start this one in day number 4, meaning the earliest I can start F would be 4 plus 2, that is a 6. Okay, so 6 plus 6, that would give you a 12. So earliest you can finish task activity number F is in day number 12. Let's do G. So G is, I'm going to draw, so G is after F. So I'm going to draw it somewhere in here because I do not have enough space. I just draw it in here. Okay. So this is my G. And the relation is finish to start, meaning you're supposed to finish F and then you can start G. The duration is 3 days. And if you're supposed to finish F in day number 12, that is when you can start G. So 12 plus 3, that is 15. And then after this, we are going to have our and. I'm going to write my and in here. And my end would be whatever is missing is going to go to your end in here. So whenever you're having an input, you're supposed to have an output. So if you notice in here, C is not having an output. So let me use another color. I'm going to use black so you guys can see the difference. So whenever you're having an input, you're supposed to have an output. So whenever you're having an input and there is no output, that output would go directly to your end. Okay, let's see D. You have an input, you do not have an output, meaning it is supposed to go to end. Hope that is making sense. B, we're having an input and output, we're good. E, we're having an input, we do not have an output, meaning we are supposed to draw an output going there. F, we're having an input, we're having an output. G, we're having an input and we're having an output, which is going to end. Hope that is clear with drawing these things. Now let's go on. So now we did the forward pass, which is going from start to finish. Now we know the earliest I can finish this task is in day 15. Okay, so let's do the backward pass. I'm gonna use the color blue in here. So the latest I can finish this one will be in day number 15, and latest I can start this will be in day number 15. So when we have this, we normally go and check within every one of them. Okay, so when we're doing the backward pass, we again take the smallest number. So let's see G as an example. So G is having only one output, which is 15. So if here my latest start would be 15, meaning that is when you can have it done. The latest you can finish is in day number 15. Then to get the latest start, sorry, you're gonna do 15 minus 3, that would give you a 12. Is that always the case? These four numbers are going to be the same? No. We're gonna see more and we're gonna see how exactly they are. Okay, so let's do F as an example. So in F, we're only having one output that is coming from G, meaning the latest I can start this one would be the latest I can finish the one before, which is 12, okay, which is F. And to get the latest start, it'd be 12 minus 6, that is a 6. Hope that is clear. Let's go see E. So E, we're having one output that is coming from end. What is my end in here? That is 15, meaning the latest I can finish this one would be in day number 15. What is the latest start? It will be 15 minus 4, that is 11. Hope that is clear. Okay. Let's do C. C, we're having one output, which is also coming from end, which is 15. So 15 minus 2, that is the latest I can start. This one would be in day number 13. Let's do D. So D, we're having one output that is coming again from end, which is 15. I know the numbers are very huge, but because I have a small activity, I mean, like the duration and the activities are less for the purpose of explaining this short course. Anyway, so 15 minus 2, that would give you, exactly, that would give you day number 13. That is the earliest the latest you can start. Let's do B. So in B, we're having two outputs. So we're having 13 and we have 11. When we are doing the backward pass, we normally take the smallest number. So 11 minus 4, that is that is 8. Okay, so let's do A, sorry. A is coming from C, that is 13, and 13 minus 3, that is in day number 10. And then again, we're going to take the smallest, meaning the smallest is 8 and 8. Meaning, what does that mean? Is that you can start your project in day number 0 as the earliest start, or you can start it late as the latest start, which is 8. Okay, so now we know the forward and the backward pass. Let's see the other details, which is the start float and finish float and total float. Okay, I'm gonna use purple. So let's do A as an example. So in here, you are supposed to do late start, that is 10, minus the earliest start, that is 0. So what is their start float would be, that is at 10. On the other hand, your finish float would be the latest you can finish this one is in day number 13. The earliest you can finish this is in day number 3, meaning your total finish float is 10 days. What about the total float? So the total float would be the latest you can finish, that is 13, minus the earliest you can start, that is 0, minus the duration, which is 3 days. That would give you a 10. Normally, these three numbers is supposed to give you the same. If you're having issues with these three numbers, meaning there might be an issue with your PDM. Okay, let's do another example, which is B. So again, in here, you're gonna do the latest you can finish, that is 8, and latest you can start, that is an 8, earliest you can start, that is a 0. So 8 minus 0 is going to give you an 8. Let's do the finished float. The latest you can finish is 11, and earliest you can finish is 4. So 11 minus 4, that is an 8. The total float again is basically your late finish, that is 11, minus your earliest start, that is 0, minus your duration, that is 4. That would still give you an 8. Let's do a random one in here. Let's do C as another example. So in C, the start float is 13 minus 4. So 13 minus 4, that is 9, I believe. Okay. And then here we're gonna do the finish, which is 15 minus 6. I believe that is a 9 as well. Hopefully I'm not doing any mistake with math. I don't have a calculator on me. And then to get the total float is basically the latest finish minus the earliest start minus your duration. That should give you a 9 as well. Okay. Let's do a random one in here. Let's do G. So G in here would be your latest start is 12 minus 12, that is a 0. And then in here, you're going to do the finished float, which is 15 minus 15, that is a 0. And in your total float would be 15 minus 12 minus 3, that is again a 0. Let's do F. So F is 6 minus 6, that is a 0. Finished float is 12 minus 12, that is a 0. And your total float would be 12 minus 6 minus 6, that would still give you a 0. Let's do D. D is 13 minus 4, that is supposed to give you a 9. And your finished float is 15 minus 6, that is a 9. And in your total float is 15 minus 4 minus 2, that is supposed to be a 9. Finally, we have E. So in E, in our start float, it is 11 minus 4. That is 11 minus 4. What is 11 minus 4? That is 7. And 15 minus 8, that's supposed to give me, yes, 7. And in total float will be 15 minus 4 minus 4. That is supposed to give you a 7 as well. Okay, so here how we can get the forward pass, backward pass, and these numbers in here. Okay, so by this, I can easily say what is my best critical path. And normally with these three numbers, it's supposed to give you around the same numbers. That is when you would know your activity or your PDM is almost correct. Hope that is clear and you're able to understand what exactly was happening. In here, we would be having another exercise. So what I would recommend is that you pause and then you go check your answer with what I'll be following. If you did not understand what happened in the exercise before, you can follow with me along with this second exercise, and hopefully it will be clear by then. So in here, let's draw it let's draw our PDM. Okay, so here will be my start. So we have A, B with no relation, meaning that you're supposed to go from start to these two activities. Okay, I'm gonna draw the other one in here. I'll be going a bit faster than the other one because I believe it was clear, or if you're having any issues understanding it, it'll be good if you can go backward. Okay, so in here we're going to have two activities. As the relationship is there's nothing meaning it to be finished to start. So if my A is in here, the duration for A is 3. Actually, better if I use red. So if my duration for A is 3, and my duration for B is 4, meaning earliest I can start A will be in day number 0, and it's going to take me 3 days. Earliest I can start B is in day number 0. Earliest I can finish this one will be in day number 4. Again, as promised in the previous exercise, I'll be doing the opposite. Like rather than plugging the numbers, I'll just be drawing it and then I'll be plugging the numbers later. Anyways, let's go to C. C, it's having a related activity, which is A. I'm gonna draw my C in here. Okay. So that is my C. C, it's coming from A and it's saying finish start. So I need to finish A and start C, which is basically called FS plus 1. And the duration for C is 2 days. I'm not going to plug in the numbers until the very end. Then we have D. D, the related activity is B, and it is finished to start, meaning my D is supposed to be somewhere in here. Okay, I could have my D somewhere in here. That is my D. And the duration for this one is 2 days. And it says it is finished to start, meaning I'm supposed to finish B and start D, activity D. Then we have E. E, the related activity is B again, meaning I'm supposed to be having E somewhere in here. Okay, that is my E. Again, the duration is 4, and the activity relation is finish to start, meaning I'm supposed to finish B and start E. Then we have F. F, the related activity is E, meaning I'm supposed to be having F. I could have F somewhere in here. And the relation is finish plus 2, meaning I'm supposed to finish this and then finish that. So finish this, finish E, finish F plus 2. What do I have as a start? So there's nothing as my start, meaning I can have my start coming from here. Okay, then finally I'll be having my end, which I'm gonna put it somewhere in here. Hope that is not confusing. I'm just putting it randomly, so that is my end. So what will be in my end? Anything that is not having an output, we are going to place it in there. So in here, I'm going to use the color orange. So C is not having an output, D is not having an output, E is having an output, and F is having an output. Okay, and also let's have F. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Let's plug in the numbers now. Let's do the opposite and start plugging in the numbers. I'll use green for forward pass. So we did 0 and 3. So here 0 and 4. So let's do A, B, C. Let's do C. So C, I can only start it if I finished A and I waited 1 day. So 3 plus 1, that is in day number 4, that is the earliest I can start. If my duration is 2, so 4 plus 2, that would be earliest I can finish is in day number 6. Let's see D. So D, there is the relation, they did not tell us anything, or it is basically FS, meaning I'm supposed to finish B and start D at the same time. So 4 plus 6 plus 2, that is a 6. Okay, let's do E. So E is also an FS, meaning I can only start E once I'm done with B, that is in day number 4. So 4 plus 4, that is the earliest finish, will be 8. Let's do F. So F is having one input in here, which is 0. What is the duration for F? Is 6. I forgot to write that. Okay. However, it is telling me finish plus 2. Meaning if I finish this one in 8 days, if it was a finish, meaning I can only finish this one in day number 8. But it is telling me finish plus 2, meaning I can only finish this before even starting this. Let me just erase this to avoid confusion. Okay, so meaning that I'm supposed to finish this in 8 plus 2 days. That is in day 10. So how can I find the earliest start? Will be 10 minus 4 minus 6. That is 4. Hope that is clear how I got these numbers. Okay, so in here, this is basically my forward pass. If I wanted to find my backward pass, here I have it as 6 and 6. Okay, so let's do the backward pass. I'm gonna use the color blue. So let's do let's do F, or uh, yeah, I still need to have like one line going from here to here, and it will not be at 6, it will be 10 because we're going to take a bigger number. Okay, so in here, so as why do we have it as going back to the end? Sorry, it should be not this way. Sorry for that. It's supposed to come. I'm gonna use the color. No, I'm gonna use orange for this so you guys can see. So I'll also be having one line from my output towards the end, and I'll be putting it as 10 because that is the maximum. So why did I put it as 10? Because I have 6 and I have 10. When I'm doing the forward pass, we take the bigger number. Okay, so in here I'm going to take 10. All right, so let's do the backward pass. I'm gonna use purple. So if my backward pass in here, it will definitely be a 10. Okay, so backward pass, we are going to see what is coming from this end. And what is the smaller no, and here we're gonna have it as a smaller value, and we're having two numbers that is coming out of as an output. So in here I have 10 and they have 8 in backward pass, which is in backward pass this, we are supposed to take the smaller number, which is 8. Okay, so 8 minus 6. There's something wrong in this. No, I'm supposed to take 10 because there's an issue. It will be a 4. So I'm going to take a 10 and not 4 because of this. Okay, so let's see E as an example. So E, we're having 10 in here. So I'm going to be putting 10 in here. So 10 minus 4, that is a 6. Let us see D. So D, it is having one output, which is 10. I'm going to be placing 10 in here. So 10 minus 2, that is an 8. Okay, let's see C. So C is having one output, that is a 10. So 10 minus 2, that is an 8. Let's see B. B, it is having two outputs. It is either an 8 or a 6. And we normally take the smaller number, that is 6. So 6 minus 4, that is 2. So earliest I can start, latest I can start B is in day number 2. Finally, let's see A. So A, we're having only one output, that is 8. So 8 minus 3, that is 5. Okay, so now I have in my start, I have 3 numbers. I have 4, I have 2, and I have 0. So we normally would be taking the smaller number, that is a 2. Let's now randomly see the total float, start float, and finish float. I'm going to use the color blue in here. So how can I find the start float? It'll be 5 minus 0, which is basically these two numbers in here. 5 minus 0, that is a 5. And for the finish float, we're going to do 8 minus 3, which is having to do with the final in here. So 8 minus 3, that is a 5. As for the total float, we normally take the latest finish, which is 8, minus the earliest start, that is 0, minus the duration for the task is today 3, which will give you 5. Again, these three numbers are normally should be the same numbers. Let's do B. So B will be again 2 minus 0, that is your start float, that is 2. 6 minus 4, that is 2. And then the total float is basically 6 minus 0 minus 4, that would give you 2. Let's do C. So C in here will be 8 minus 4, that is 4. For finish float is 10 minus 6, that is 4. For the total float, it is basically 10 minus 4 minus 2, that is again 4. Let's do D. So in D, it's going to be 8 minus 4, that is 4. And finish will be 10 minus 6, that is a 4. For the total float, it is 10 minus 4 minus 2, that is a 4. We have E. So in here, we're going to put a 6 minus 4, that is 2. And then in my finish float is 10 minus 8, that is a 2. Total float is 10 minus 4 minus 4, that is a 2. Finally, we have F. So F is 4 minus 4, that is a 0. 10 minus 10, that is a 0. And then 10 minus 4 minus 6, that is again a 0. Finally, whatever we have, we're supposed to be having it as a 10, 10. And it is also going to give you as zeros in here. So this is the forward pass and backwards pass for PDM. Okay, so the whole idea of us having PDM, it is very effective for project managers to see the streamline of a project and how we can make our project faster whenever is needed, and and if we started anything late, how it would affect our project. Okay, like sometimes we can, especially if an activity was in the critical path, and whatever change you make in that critical path would affect your deadline of finishing the project. Okay, so drawing PDM, it would show you what path or what activities you're not supposed to start it late. And that comes to the end of this course. Hope that is clear. If you do have any questions, you can always ask. Otherwise, I'd recommend you doing more exercises. If anything, do let me know. All the best and do take care.